I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
In the hip-hop world, controversies don't always disappear. Sometimes they resurface quietly years later through lawsuits, leaked audio claims, and unanswered questions. Recently, online conversations reignited after old birthday party footage and public allegations involving Meek Mill and Sean Diddy Combs began circulating again across social media. According to publicly discussed claims, these moments were once dismissed as internet noise, but new lawsuits, interviews, and reactions have caused fans to look back with renewed scrutiny. What was once brushed off as industry gossip is now being re-examined in the context of power, loyalty, and silence. The question many are asking isn't what happened behind closed doors, but why certain moments continue to follow certain names, long after music stops. Meek Mill's story has always been framed as one of survival and resilience. Raised in Philadelphia, he built his reputation through raw street narratives.
Champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink, so I was playing that shit off.
Relentless grind and public battles with the criminal justice system. According to interviews, his rise symbolized redemption for many fans who saw his success as proof that escaping circumstances was possible, even when the system appeared stacked against him. As his career grew, so did his proximity to powerful figures within the music industry, including long-established executives and cultural gatekeepers. That proximity later became central to online speculation when his name appeared in conversations tied to controversy. Over the past year, several lawsuits involving Sean Diddy Combs have circulated publicly, triggering renewed attention on anyone mentioned directly or indirectly within those filings. According to lawsuits and publicly discussed claims, individuals connected to Combs described environments where boundaries, power, and influence were often blurred. These allegations, still unproven, became fuel for online debate, especially when past footage, photos, and audio clips began resurfacing on blogs and social platforms. One particular lawsuit, filed by a former associate known publicly as Lil Rod, described experiences at private industry gatherings. According to that lawsuit, the plaintiff alleged manipulation and misconduct and claimed that high-profile names were referenced during conversations meant to normalize certain behavior. These claims did not accuse Meek Mill directly of wrongdoing, but his name's inclusion sparked intense speculation across social media. Internet users began revisiting old clips, posts, and public interactions, searching for meaning in moments that once seemed ordinary. Meek Mill responded publicly to the rumors by denying any inappropriate conduct and emphasizing his background, his values, and the people who surround him. In social media posts, he suggested that he would never tolerate disrespect and framed the allegations as internet fiction. These responses were widely shared, with supporters praising him for addressing the issue directly, while critics argued that the denials avoided deeper questions raised by the lawsuits themselves. According to internet speculation, the lack of detailed clarification only intensified curiosity rather than calming it. Further complicating matters were audio recordings that began circulating online, allegedly captured during private events. The individual who shared the audio claimed past employment ties to Diddy, though no independent verification confirmed the recording's origin or authenticity. According to publicly discussed claims, listeners speculated about the voices heard, but no official confirmation was ever provided. The audio's existence alone was enough to divide audiences, with some dismissing it as fabricated and others treating it as circumstantial evidence. As these discussions grew louder, past videos resurfaced, including footage from birthday celebrations and poolside gatherings. Internet speculation suggested that moments captured on camera were now being reinterpreted through the lens of recent allegations. Supporters argued that context was being stripped away to fit a narrative, while critics insisted that the footage raised legitimate questions about power dynamics within elite industry circles. Throughout this period, Meek Mill continued appearing publicly aligned with Sean Diddy Combs, defending him indirectly during moments of online backlash. According to fans, this loyalty reflected gratitude and long-standing professional ties. Others questioned whether silence and defense in such situations were driven by fear, obligation, or industry pressure. These questions, though unanswered, became central to the narrative forming online. The conversation shifted again when unrelated industry conflicts spilled onto social media. Meek inserted himself into a public exchange involving 50 Cent and Christian Combs. According to public posts, Meek criticized what he described as selective outrage and online harassment. His comments drew immediate responses, reigniting the earlier rumors and reframing them within a broader discussion about loyalty and accountability. At this stage, the controversy was no longer confined to lawsuits or leaked media. It had evolved into a debate about how the hip-hop industry handles allegations, who speaks up, and who stays quiet. Meek Mill's name, fairly or unfairly, remained part of that conversation, not because of proven actions, but because of proximity, perception, and silence. The resurfacing of these moments forced fans to confront uncomfortable questions about power and protection in an industry built on image and influence. The online reaction to Meek Mill's involvement in these discussions revealed deep divisions among fans and commentators. Some argued that internet culture thrives on speculation, turning incomplete information into definitive narratives. According to these voices, resurfaced clips and unverified audio prove nothing beyond the internet's appetite for controversy. Others counter that repeated patterns, even without confirmation, deserve scrutiny when powerful figures are involved. A major turning point came to the ongoing social media exchanges involving 50 Cent, known for his confrontational online persona. 50 Cent publicly mocked both Christian Combs and Meek Mill, framing their responses as deflection rather than accountability. His posts, widely shared, reignited earlier rumors by referencing loyalty and silence. Meek responded by defending his career achievements and dismissing the criticism as opportunistic. Notably, his response focused on professional success rather than directly addressing the underlying speculation, a choice that fueled further debate. Meanwhile, commentators like Jaguar Wright added additional layers to the narrative. According to her interviews, she alleged that recordings and private moments have been known within industry circles for years. These statements, though unverified, circulated rapidly online due to her history of making controversial claims about powerful figures. Critics questioned her credibility, while others argued that her willingness to speak publicly reflected frustrations with long-standing industry silence. The name Nicki Minaj also entered discussions after claims surfaced suggesting she may have been aware of certain private recordings during her past relationship with Meek Mill. According to internet speculation, this knowledge allegedly contributed to their breakup. No confirmation has been provided by Minaj, and these claims remain unsubstantiated. Still, their circulation highlighted how personal relationships become entangled with public narratives in celebrity culture. Another frequently mentioned figure was Usher, whose name appeared in lawsuit references but who chose not to address the allegations publicly. His silence became part of the broader discussion about why some artists respond while others do not. Fans debated whether silence protects careers, avoids legal risk, or simply reflects a refusal to engage with rumors. As the controversy unfolded, the focus shifted from individual accusations to structural questions. Why do allegations involving powerful figures often rely on indirect claims? Why does silence sometimes amplify speculation rather than end it? And why are artists on the periphery of lawsuits subjected to intense scrutiny, even when no direct accusations are made against them? For Meek Mill, the situation highlighted the double-edged nature of industry alliances. Loyalty can be interpreted as integrity by supporters and complicity by critics. According to publicly discussed claims, his continued defense of Diddy reinforced perceptions that powerful networks protect their own, regardless of public pressure. Others argued that speaking out prematurely could expose individuals to legal and professional consequences. Ultimately, the resurfacing of birthday party footage and online claims did not provide definitive answers. Instead, it exposed how narratives form in the absence of transparency. Social media transformed fragments into stories, while lawsuits introduced names without conclusions. The controversy surrounding Meek Mill became less about specific events and more about what they symbolized: the imbalance of power, the cost of silence, and the difficulty of separating rumor from reality. As conversations continue, no official findings have confirmed the allegations discussed online. What remains is a divided audience, interpreting the same material in radically different ways. Some see manipulation and protection. Others see coincidence and exaggeration. The truth, if it exists, remains buried beneath layers of loyalty, fear, and speculation. So the questions remain open. Do you think silence in the industry is a form of protection or survival? Why do some controversies fade while others resurface years later? And what does this situation reveal about power, perception, and accountability in hip-hop? As the conversation around Meek Mill and Sean Diddy Combs continued to circulate online, a noticeable shift began to take place. What initially started as speculation tied to lawsuits and resurfaced footage gradually evolved into a broader examination of how influence operates within the music industry. According to publicly discussed claims, many observers stopped focusing solely on individual allegations and began questioning the systems that allow uncertainty to linger without resolution. In hip-hop, proximity to power has always carried both opportunity and risk. Artists often rely on alliances with executives, mentors, and cultural leaders to advance their careers. According to internet speculation, these relationships can also create unspoken expectations of loyalty, especially during moments of public controversy. When allegations arise, remaining silent may be interpreted as protection, while speaking out can be viewed as betrayal. This tension became central to how audiences interpreted Meek Mill's actions and responses. Supporters argued that Meek's public silence on specific claims reflected caution rather than guilt. They pointed out that allegations mentioned in lawsuits did not directly accuse him of criminal behavior, and that responding to every rumor could cause unnecessary damage. According to this perspective, social media thrives on escalation, often rewarding outrage over nuance. From this angle, withholding comment becomes a strategy for survival in an environment where statements are frequently distorted. Critics, however, viewed the same silence differently. According to online commentary, they argued that powerful figures and their associates benefit from ambiguity, allowing time to dilute attention and exhaust public interest. For these critics, silence appeared less like caution and more like insulation, reinforcing the idea that industry networks protect their own. The resurfacing of old footage and audio claims intensified this view, as moments once ignored were reinterpreted through the lens of unresolved allegations. The debate highlighted a recurring issue within celebrity culture: the absence of clear boundaries between public evidence and private speculation. Lawsuits introduce narratives without conclusions, while social media fills the gaps with interpretation. According to publicly discussed claims, this cycle creates an environment where truth becomes secondary perception. Once a name becomes associated with controversy, detachment becomes nearly impossible, regardless of factual clarity. Another factor shaping this controversy was the role of commentary-driven platforms. Podcasts, reaction channels, and live-stream discussions amplified fragments of information, often prioritizing engagement over verification. According to observers, this ecosystem rewards those who speak the loudest rather than those who speak carefully. In such spaces, context is frequently lost, and repetition alone can transform speculation into assumed reality. For Meek Mill, this meant navigating a landscape where past achievements, activism, and public struggles competed with narrative he did not fully control. According to fans, his history of challenging systemic injustice made him an unlikely symbol of silence. Others argue that personal evolution does not exempt anyone from scrutiny, especially when proximity to power is involved. These conflicting interpretations ensure that the conversation remained unresolved. As time passed, attention gradually shifted away from specific claims toward broader implications. The controversy prompted discussions about accountability, transparency, and the responsibility of influential figures during moments of crisis. According to internet speculation, many wonder whether the industry's emphasis on image management ultimately undermines trust between artists and audiences. Importantly, no official findings have validated the rumors circulating online. What remains is a collection of allegations, reactions, and unanswered questions. The resurfacing of birthday party videos did not confirm wrongdoing, but it did expose the fragility of reputations built within interconnected power structures. In the absence of definitive answers, interpretation fills the void. Ultimately, this situation underscores a larger truth about fame and influence. In industries driven by perception, silence can speak as loudly as denial, and loyalty can be mistaken for complicity. Whether Meek Mill's story reflects caution, obligation, or coincidence remains unknown. What is clear is that once controversy enters the public sphere, it rarely fades without leaving lasting impressions.